Hello, friends at Unity of Merritt Island. I'm joining you from San Francisco, California, in my little apartment here, and sharing a song with you called Raising the Veil, and it's a song written by Daniel Nahmod, and talks about removing the separation between us, the perceived separation between us and God. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. I want to know you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I want to see you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I want to hear you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I want to feel you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. I want to know you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I want to love you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil.
Last week, our talk was under the mask. And when we come out from under our mask, when we come out from pretending to be someone we're not, when we come out from under the mask of hiding ourselves because we're afraid of what others will think, when we start to be authentic, then there's a yearning that starts to move through us. That yearning to see, hear, feel, know God more. But there's something that keeps us from that. And that's our belief that we're separate from God. Today's talk is raising the veil. So the Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. Finally, they came to the Promised Land. And then once they were there, they built a temple in Jerusalem. So on this temple was a large porch. And that's where the lay people gathered, the Gentiles. And then as you went inside the temple, there was another big room, and that's where the priests gathered. But beyond that was another room. And between the two rooms was this large, massive veil. And in the inner room, that was called the Holy of Holies, the place where God dwelled. And only the high priest was allowed to go in there alone once a year to perform his spiritual duties. That mask between the two rooms, that veil, represents our separation between God and man. So, when we're under our mask, we wander in the desert, don't we? For 40 years metaphysically is as long as it takes. Until we finally come out, till we finally reach the Promised Land. The Promised Land is my realization that I don't have to hide under a mask anymore. That I get to be me here. But again, once that happens, there's that desire to hear, see, feel, know, love God more. So what happens is I end up on the porch outside the temple, and I hang out there, learning, growing, healing. Because until there's a change in my mind, until there's a change in my thinking, until there's a change in my awareness, I can't move into the temple. The temple, the place where my heart and head come together, my heart and mind come together, where I understand spiritual principles, where I start to make living from an awareness of God my priority rather than everything out here my priority. When I start to make living from an awareness of God more important than my human and worldly desires, that's when I enter the temple. So is God more important to you than your human and worldly desires yet? We have a class that meets on Wednesdays, and this came up in the class. There was a master teacher sitting on a river meditating, and a student approached him and said, "Teacher, can I be your disciple?" And the teacher said, "Why?" And the student said, "So I can learn how to find God." So the teacher got up from his meditative pose. He walked over to the river and went, "Come here." So the student went in the river with him, didn't have a clue. And the master takes him by the back of the neck and holds his head in the water, and the student is struggling and flailing around, and the teacher held him there for about 1 minute. And then he let him up, and the student comes up gasping for air, and he goes, "Why did you do that?" And the teacher said, "When you want God as much as you wanted air, come back. I am going to remain on the porch of the temple until I want God as much as I want air. until I understand, until I can hear, see, feel, know, and love God, and make that my priority, instead of looking to the outside for answers. That first room, once we get inside the temple, that's where most of us stay. That's where we do our spiritual work. That's where we start to open more, where we start to understand more. But what about that second room? What about the room on the other side of the veil? The Holy of Holies, where I'm one with God. How do I get there? You know, a lot of us kind of stick our toe in that room every once in a while. When it doesn't stay, it comes back out. Because that veil is my belief in separation. You know, I say to you so many times, okay, now when you leave here, as soon as you get out that door, don't leave everything in here. As soon as that guy cuts you off, don't forget everything you were feeling good about a few minutes before. Raising the veil, removing that belief that I'm separate from God. Sigmund Freud compared the human mind to the iceberg. The first one, Dan. 10% of an iceberg is visible above water. The other 90% is under the water. Freud said that our conscious mind, the 10% we operate from, is above. But the other 90% of our mind, our subconscious, our superconscious, is below. And even below the superconscious, there is something that hasn't been identified yet. Way down in the depths. So, first principle in unity is what? There's only one power and one presence. There's an infinite intelligence, energy, that's actively expressing within and without the universe, seen and unseen. And we have all different names for that, don't we? We call it God, we call it Spirit, we call it Yahweh, all kinds of different, for that peace that we can't quite touch, we can't quite see. So right now, whoever and whatever God is to you, I want you to get your intellect out of the way for the rest of this talk. Don't try to figure out what God is, because it's undefinable. From now on, for the rest of this talk, I want you to listen from your heart, from your soul. I want you to hear, not from your intellect, but someplace deeper. Let's go beneath the 10%. Let's go down into the subconscious, the superconscious, the unconscious. Because we are going to remain stuck on that porch in the conscious mind as long as we depend and look to the physical world to fulfill us, aren't we? Change happens. Healing happens when I go below the 10%. That's where clarity comes. That's where the wisdom comes from. Usually when I'm writing my talk, Monday and Tuesday, John will say, "How's your talk coming?" And I go, "It's all tangled up. It's all tangled up." And don't you feel like that sometimes when stuff is going on in your life and you're trying to figure it out? That it's just all tangled up in here. So how do I move? How do I move below that 10%? I have to start raising the veil, first of all, of forgetfulness, of the ignorance, that keeps me remembering who and what I truly am. We sing the song, I am unique. We have to come out from under the mask. We have to step fully into the unique person that we are, the unique human being that we are, to bring our unique gifts into this world, because each and every one of you have it. You each have something that is unique to you that you were born with. Now, we're not talking about a trade or a skill. We're talking about that's something that's in here that moves through, and you're afraid to let everybody see it. You might not even know what it is. But as I start embracing myself more, as I start loving me more, as I start allowing myself to let you see me, it starts to come out. And then you're going to find that your friends might change. Some might fall away. Because they weren't real, were they? They were there because of that person you were making believe you were. And so when you come out, when you're your authentic self, that's going to draw up other people that are what? That are being their authentic self. And how much easier life gets, how much more fun it gets. Louis Pasteur said, I am on the edge of mysteries, and the veil is getting thinner and thinner. I am on the edge of mysteries, and the veil is getting thinner and thinner. Take a breath. Breathe that in. Just know that right now, you are sitting in your unique, authentic self. And take a breath. And just visualize that veil of separation between you and God becoming thinner and thinner. Feel yourself just releasing, letting go. You might want to say, I believe that I am one with God. Just when you open your eyes. I was on the phone with some friends last week sometime. And they were on vacation, and part of their vacation was they were going to drive this ocean road known for its beautiful views. And as I was talking to them, they were just getting ready to leave for the day, and they said, oh man, this is planned, we have to do this drive today, but it's raining and it's gray, and we're just going to miss all that beauty we were expected to see. And the night before, I usually go for a walk at night. The night before, I was getting ready to go for my walk, and I stuck my head out, and it was a little misty, so I put a rain poncho on, and I went. Well, halfway through my walk, I couldn't turn around and come back. It started pouring. I mean, it was that torrential pour we get here. And I went, let's see what I can find. Let's see what I can find. And as soon as I thought that, my whole awareness shifted. And I got soaked. I mean, my shoes were soggy, my socks were wet. I got soaked. But that was the most wonderful walk I've had in a long time. All of a sudden, all the leaves on the trees were iridescent and shining. The water took on a different color. The ducks, if you ever watch ducks land and fly in the rain, it's a whole new experience. Everything became alive and vibrant, and I saw things that I hadn't seen on my regular walks. So I shared that with my friends as they were driving. And they went, you know what? We're going to do this drive and ask ourselves, let's see what we can find. It wasn't maybe a half hour later, I get this picture, this gorgeous picture of the ocean against rocks, and it's just raw and rugged. And it was such a beauty on this gray, rainy day that would not have been there if the sun was shining. So what about those times in your life when you're expecting something to show up a certain way and you're bummed because it's not showing up that way? Can you in that moment say, let's see what I can find here. Let me look for the beauty here. Let me look for the God in here, in this. Einstein said, there are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle, Or you can live as if everything is a miracle. I take the second one. How about you? Yeah. Unity's second principle, that we are each an individual expression of God's good. Talk about being unique, right? We can't do that unless we come out from under that mask. We can't do that unless we start being our authentic self. And you've heard this, just as the wave is in the ocean, the wave has its being in the ocean. We have our being in God. And the wave's not the whole ocean, but it's made exactly of the same stuff as the ocean, isn't it? Jim Rosemergy writes, he was an associate minister at Unity School, has written many Unity books, but he calls it God stuff. We're made of God stuff. I like that. The wave can never be removed from the ocean, and we cannot be removed from God. It's only that veil of my belief that makes me think I'm separate. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. Say that with me. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation. Say it. No separation. No distance at all. No distance at all. Close your eyes again. And feel this. Whisper it to yourself. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. Whisper that to yourself. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. Feel it, breathe it, know it. And then say to yourself, no separation, no distance at all. Say it, feel it. No separation, no distance at all. And breathe and feel that oneness of God in you right now, right in this minute. Take a breath and open your eyes and know that between me in here and me out there, between God within and God out there, there is no separation. Take a breath. In that unidentified depths of the iceberg lies an infinite well. Jesus called it the living waters. And it's waiting to express through us. Once I go down to that depth, once I touch the depths of that living well and connect to it, you can feel it. It bubbles up in you. It spirals. It comes up and it wants to explode into this world as kindness, as compassion, as gratitude, as unconditional love. That's all in you. That's the living waters in us. Joe Goldsmith said, I am the place through which God flows. We are the place through which God flows. That's why we're unique. We are the expression of God. We are the place through which God flows. So as we come out from under our mask, as we live from that awareness of one power and one presence, as we come in touch with our uniqueness, our authenticity, life takes on a new meaning, just like my walk did. It becomes deeper, richer, alive. And there is a light that starts radiating and filling us so much that we can never be in the dark again.
I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. I invite you to close your eyes if you'd like. Place your hand over your heart. Put the biggest smile on your face as you raise the veil between you and your God. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No all. No distance at all. God is right here. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. Keep smiling. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. Sing it again. God is right here in my heart. Feel the joy. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil.
And breathe. Let that stay within you. Let it remain with you. And this week, allow that unconditional love that you're feeling right now, that unspeakable gratitude that you're feeling right now, that euphoric joy that's swelling up in you. Let it burst forth into the lives of all the people around you, into the world. This week, my friends, see, hear, feel, and know God by raising the veil. God bless you.
I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. I invite you to close your eyes. Place your hand on your heart. Put the biggest smile